I have done something that I always tell people not to do. That is, I booked a flight through a third-party booking website. And the last time I did this with the same third-party booking website, I ended up having to pay nearly £100 extra for baggage. This time I've only got hand baggage, so that's not going to happen, but I'm still very dubious. I'm in Tangier. I travelled to Tangier without flying, and I'm about to fly back to the UK. Now, the reason I booked this flight was A, it was only £100, and B, it takes me right back to Bristol, which is much closer to where I live than London. However, I do have to change in Barcelona. It is covered by some sort of guarantee if there are any delays and I miss that leg. Apparently I may miss that leg because according to my app, flight is delayed going out of here, so we'll see. It is also a night flight with a layover overnight. I've just checked in, got my boarding pass here, and I'm going to go through security. I'm through the other side. That was a bit of a process, so it was really quick, but then immigration took probably about 45 minutes. So if you're flying from Tangier Airport, do factor in time for that. There were a few people who were having to skip the line because their flights were leaving. So the third party I booked through is Kiwi.com. I used to use Kiwi.com quite a lot until I used them to get home from Mexico when I was the last flight to leave Mexico, like in March 2020 when everything was closing. There was a big issue with our bags, meaning we ended up paying like £100 each to put our bags on the plane because Kiwi hadn't registered with them. Shortly after, my partner had an issue where his plane was cancelled, and he hadn't booked with Kiwi, but he booked through another third-party app. It was a real challenge for him to get his money back or to get any kind of like replacement or anything, even though the cancellation wasn't his fault at all. So since then we've been quite anti booking through third-party websites. However, this was such a cheaper deal and it got me back to Bristol, which is so much easier. There are no direct flights from anywhere outside of Europe, I don't think, to Bristol. It's a layover, but then it does get me back there. I decided to go for it, but I may live to regret it because I do always tell people to not do this, and now I'm doing it. So this is an experiment and we'll see how I go. So this is the international terminal at Tangier Ibn Battuta Airport. Not very big, as you can see. There's a little cafe up there. The gates are literally just here. And if you've watched my video of Tangier, which by the way, great city, like not a huge amount of attractions, but really pretty. Really enjoyed it today. Watch that video, you will know that Ibn Battuta is a famous local explorer from the 13th century. He travelled all over Africa, Asia, and the Middle East. He was from here. And in Dubai, there is an Ibn Battuta shopping mall which has different areas which are all like related to the places that he went to. And it's somewhere I went to quite a lot in my childhood because my dad lived in Dubai. So I was quite interested to go to his museum today. And the airport's also named after him. I've just had a look and it doesn't say here that we are delayed at all. However, I'm pretty sure we are delayed because Kiwi.com sent me an email, and then I also had a little look at Google Flights, and it looks like the flight from Barcelona hasn't even taken off yet, but I should still be okay for time. Fingers crossed. Let's have a little look because yeah, I'm pretty sure I am going to be delayed. This is not a flattering angle. So Google is telling me its estimated departure is 0038 and estimated arrival is 3:23 as opposed to 23:05 and arrival at 1:50. So that is a hour and a half delay. That is because incoming flight VY7364 is delayed, has an estimated departure of 1 minute time. Does say it takes 2 hours to get here, which seems long. So that does mean that I won't get there until 3:20. So what are we saying with Kiwi.com? They do have a guarantee of like they'll put me on another flight, which I can use, but I'm just not sure how well it works. If I arrive at 3:20, my next flight is at 5:45. I've checked in, I've not got any baggage. So theoretically that should be fine, but I've got to go into Spain, leave Spain, and then go through again. That may or may not be okay. Okay, the good news is that the Barcelona Tangier has departed, which actually departed 4 minutes earlier than the new time it said. Okay, so that is on the way. I'm a sorry state of affairs right now. I've just spent 35 dirham, which is what, like £6 on a small bottle of water and a Mars bar. This airport markup is wild. I went in to inquire about the price of a British Sport and I was told that it was €4. There were also some other chocolate bars in there, like the bigger chocolate bars, but still not huge. It was €7.50. Oh. So it looks like the plane from Barcelona is going to land at 5 minutes past midnight. We were supposed to take off at 5 minutes past 11. So if they can do turnaround less than an hour, then that might be good news. Like if they can do the turnaround and we take off at 1, for example, then we should be there by 3. Probably make it, we'll have 2 hours 45. But if we're there later, I might not. And it all depends on how busy Barcelona airport is, because I booked with Kiwi and I booked with 2 different airlines. I've got to leave the airport, get stamped in Spain, and then go back into the airport and get stamped out. But I don't have any checked baggage, and I do have my boarding pass for my second flight. So those are 2 things in my favour. What's not in my favour is to have to change terms. It's anyone's guess right now. I mean, I am an early airport person. I get to the airport early. This is not my ideal situation. This is probably why I shouldn't book with third party. I'm not cut out for it. Anyway, I'm gonna eat my Mars bar, and I've got a few admin jobs on my laptop that I may as well get done. Sadly it's not now. Google's saying that the plane hasn't landed yet, but there's a bus here, which some people have gotten. I'm gonna go investigate. No, that one was going to Palma. It's 12:04 Moroccan time, which means it's 1:04 Spanish time. So I have 4 hours and 30 minutes until my plane to Bristol leaves. I'm cutting this fine, aren't I? But the plane from Barcelona has landed. Am I gonna make it? Who knows? Who knows at this point? I was just one of those keynotes who jumped up as soon as it looked like we were boarding. It does say boarding now, but we're not actually moving anywhere. So part of me wants to kind of stretch my legs before I sit on a plane, but also, yeah, I don't need to get on the plane that badly, I guess. I'm not even going to put my overhead up, I'm just going to put that to the seat, so that should be fine. 12:15 says we're going to take off at just gone 1, which probably should work out if we are boarding soon. Plane coming here took less than 2 hours. That might have been because they were caught in a favourable wind. So that might not mean that we take less than 2 hours, but fingers crossed. I did think 2 hours between Barcelona and Tangier was quite a lot. To be fair, the last passenger is still getting off and we are through and about to board, so they are turning us around very, very quickly. This is good. Not only did the check-in lady give me extra legroom seats, which was nice of her, but I'm this close to the front. So that is good for getting off quickly. I was the third off the plane. Now in the first, because I ran past everyone and I'm just running full pelt to immigration. But I have never seen an airport so deserted, so I should be fine this side. Hopefully, but we'll be well the other side as well. Oh, it's currently 3:21, so I have 2 hours and 24 minutes. So, provided I don't get any more hold-ups, I should be alright. But I need to be quick. I do not know how I've managed this, but it is 3:50 AM, which is at one point the time I thought I was going to be landing at the other terminal, and I'm through. I'm through security, checked in already online, and I didn't have to drop a bag off, so I didn't have to do that. And yeah, I've just got to wait for my gate now. I do not know what rocket fuel was in that plane, but we took off from Tangier at 54 minutes past midnight. That was when we were in the air. We landed here at 10 minutes past 3. Obviously, Spain is an hour forward. So that took an hour and 15 minutes. When I looked it up earlier, it said it was going to take 2 hours. So the pilot put his foot down. I don't even know if pilots can do that. Can pilots do that? Can they make the plane go faster? Let me know if you know. I've got no idea how planes work. But say at one point it did say we were going to land at 3:50. And the gate on my ticket says it closes at 5:15. So that is tight. Like, say if it had taken me sort of 20 minutes to get through immigration, which it could have done, then I'd had to leave the airport, get the bus. I could have waited 15 minutes for a bus. Like, I was just running through all of that in my head, and like I said before, I'm not a good airport person, so I could have gotten here with like less than an hour to spare, and then had to do security, and still got to do get stamped out of the EU, because obviously entered the EU for all of an hour. So I've still got to go through that other security, which is thanks to Brexit. And Kiwi.com, they have this guarantee. I emailed them and it says we get back to you in 2 hours. I've not heard a peep from them. You can ring. I am tempted to ring and just see if anyone picks up, just out of curiosity, because I was looking at some reviews online and people were saying that they were like hanging up the phone and stuff, but I don't want to clog up the lines in case people actually do need them. Not very impressed with Kiwi.com really, just lack of response. And also, if you're abroad, quite often you can't call, quite often you don't have data to call. Like I have a cap on my data when on my like minutes phone usage when I'm abroad. I can't spend a penny. So yeah, not very impressed with Kiwi.com. Wouldn't recommend. Very, very rare I do this, but I was hungry. I was roaming around looking for food and then thought, you know what, I'm just gonna get a Burger King. But I got a kid's portion, so it was a lot cheaper and also probably enough food for me right now. Let's dig in. Vegetable nuggets and chips. And I'm always a little bit wary when I get the vegetable nuggets in places like this. They look vegetable,